Meiman. I am Groot, I am Buddha at the beginning. Chapter 21. Bleecker Street. Number 177A. A retro high-rise building. On the rooftop, a thin figure wearing a bright yellow robe and a black waist waved his palm gently. The oncoming Zetori were immediately thrown into the distance. Directly exploded into a cloud of fireworks. She is not strong. There are also no weapons and equipment. The metal pendant hanging from the chest is also like an ordinary jewelry. However, she can manipulate the omnipotent secret energy. Unleash incredible abilities. Her gaze was deep. Look at the Stark Tower in the distance. His brows furrowed deeply. Guardians of the Galaxy. Why did it appear in the Battle of New York? The future has changed. A murmur sounded leisurely. As the owner of Karma Taj, current Supreme Mage, she has insight into almost all the mysteries of the known universe. Also visited different civilizations, different planets. She understands the past, the future. I've seen countless possibilities. But he never thought that the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers would meet in advance. And this flower god Colossus clan. On his body, he actually possessed a vast and boundless cosmic energy. It seems that he owns an infinity stone. Supreme Mage's pupils constricted. With her unusual perception, she immediately noticed something was wrong. Infinity stones. The essence of the singularity born of the Big Bang. There are 6 pieces in total. Today, the 4 infinity stones are gathered in New York. If we do not intervene, I am afraid that it will lead to immeasurable disasters and losses. The Supreme Mage's eyes flashed. I also made up my mind. She wants to personally visit this Guardians of the Galaxy. At the same time, the Secretary General of the Council also gave his own instructions. A sonic fighter immediately rose off the ground. A small nuclear bomb was launched directly. The nuclear bomb was fired straight at New York. However, along the way, Tony Stark used his whimsy. The speed has increased dramatically. Held up this nuclear bomb. Directly changed the trajectory of the nuclear bomb. Sailed towards the dark depths of space. The nuclear bomb passed through many obstacles. Instantly hit the Temple 1 mothership of the Chitauri people. Bang! A mushroom cloud rises into the sky. Mothership blown up. All the Chitauri people are also like falling off kites, like dropped kites, falling towards the earth. Nope. You don't want to defeat me. I'm a god. The evil god Loki's face twisted. He couldn't believe it. The combat troops under Thanos were defeated in a blink of an eye. The voice fell. A pair of big hands tightly gripped his calves. He felt the picture in front of him spinning. In an instant, it was smashed to the ground. 1 time. 2. 3 clicks. Everywhere. Even the marble floor has been smashed into deep pits. The evil god Loki burst with pain, his bones shattered, and he lay on his back in the deep pit, letting out a slight moan. What a weak god. Groot smiled coldly. His physique is comparable to that of the Hulk. Power gems. It also raised all his abilities to the realm of infinity. Of course, each infinity stone is unique. The infinity stones of the current universe, if they appear in other universes, may be reduced to a decoration. It doesn't work at all. So, he didn't rely entirely on the power gem. Check-in system is his biggest reliance. After coming to Earth, he had no intention of returning to the void for the time being. Because of the land of nothingness, the 3 teachings and 9 streams, the fish and dragons are mixed. Silver members are a minority. Groot alone could not govern the city at all. So, he needs to gather a group of trusted allies to help him transform the void. He plans to visit Karma Taj. If you can get the suspense, there is no need to shuttle through the stars through spaceships. Raise your hand to open a secret door. Go wherever he goes. Suspension. It embodies the highest wisdom of all the sages of Karma Taj from ancient to modern times. It also condensed the unfathomable space magic into a small suspense. What to do? There is no way to turn off the space teleportation device at all. The widow's face was full of worry. And at this time, Groot picks up the psychic scepter dropped by the evil god Loki. Through the psychic scepter, the connection between the cosmic cube and the teleportation device was completely disconnected. Without energy support, the spatial crack is slowly shrinking. However, Tony Stark didn't return to Earth in time. Mark 7 Warframe has lost all power. It's slowly falling down. Fall. Finally, before the door of the space closes, he appeared in everyone's sight. However, Tony Stark's landing speed did not slow down. The Avengers also sensed something was wrong. Suddenly, layers of vines intertwined transform into a pair of giant wings. The wings flapped vigorously. An updraft swept out. In an instant, Groot got rid of gravity and rushed up to the sky. There was a whistling wind in my ears. Groot's eyes glowed. Soon, he caught Tony Stark, who was temporarily unconscious. Since the Mark 7 does not have space capabilities. Even though Tony Stark landed smoothly, his eyes were still closed. It seems that there is no breath. Roar. The Hulk let out a thunderous roar. A sudden loud noise instantly woke Tony Stark. You shouldn't be doing artificial respiration to me. Stark looked confused. The mocking words blurted out. Let the Silver Protectors and the Avengers endure it. This playboy really has a unique personality. Groot. Thanks for the help of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Where are you from? You know us very well. Team America was smiling. But there was a hint of doubt in his eyes. The Avengers has just been established. The Guardians of the Galaxy from the depths of space have already known about the existence of the Avengers. Not only Team America, but even Widow, Hawkeye, Thor. All are full of doubt and gratitude. Are you the Colossus of the Flower God? According to Asgard's elective courses. Flower God Colossus, can't you just say that I am Groot? Thor scratched his head. As the son of Odin. Crown Prince of Asgard. General knowledge of the language. It was a professional skill he had to learn. Ding. Please check in at the next check-in location within 30 minutes. Check-in location, New York Temple. A long-lost voice announcement sounded. Groot's face immediately showed a hint of hesitation. The New York Temple. This is the territory of the Supreme Mage. During the outbreak of the Battle of New York, the Supreme Mage also came to the New York Temple. If he goes to the New York Temple at this time, there is no doubt that you will encounter the Supreme Mage. The Supreme Mage holds a time gem in his hand. Insight into the past and the future. Go to any timeline. Soon, though, Groot felt a prying breath. Even plants are warning you. It seems that a mysterious existence has set its sights on him. It seems that the Supreme Mage, before his visit, had already come to the Stark mansion. Groot curled the corners of his mouth. He knew that the Supreme Mage had the ability to enter and exit the mirror dimension. Mirror dimensions. Independent of the real world. No matter what kind of war breaks out, it will not affect the real world. It is also possible to monitor and observe dangerous targets. Perhaps, the Supreme Mage was in the mirror dimension, observing the Guardians of the Galaxy. We came to this place by accident. Because we found out that Thanos is gathering troops. Gamora looked sincere. The name she mentioned also made everyone in the Avengers frown slightly. Thanos. Tony Stark's gaze sank slightly. The moment he heard this name, a sense of foreboding emerged in his heart. Yes. Thanos. The master of the Zetarii is not the evil god Loki. It's the cosmic emperor, Thanos. Thanos, he takes pleasure in slaughtering planets and has been collecting infinity stones all the time. The psychic scepter, the cosmic cube, is a container for the infinity stones. Nebula spoke. And the psychic scepter and the cosmic cube are in Groot's hands. Other words. He has already got 3 infinity stones. Strength. Space. Soul. The infinity stones themselves also have an endless amount of energy. It can also be used as a weapon, giving the holder a variety of unparalleled abilities. However, Thor, the god of thunder, also thirsts for the cosmic cube. I need the cosmic cube to repair the Rainbow Bridge. Thor looked embarrassed. Rainbow Bridge. Interrupted by him. And without the Rainbow Bridge, it means that the Asgardians cannot travel through the other 8 worlds. The 9 realms also fell into war because of this. The strife of the 8 kingdoms must be settled as soon as possible. Before recycling the Infinity Stones. I'll lend you the cosmic cube. Groot laughed. Are you sure you have what it takes to protect the Infinity Stones? Tony Stark had a keen eye. If 2 Infinity Stones are gathered in one place. Well, sooner or later, Thanos will provoke a war. To be precise, we already have 3 Infinity Stones. Groot spread out his palms. Above the palm of your hand, a brilliant purple gemstone is encrusted. This is a power gem. Peter Quill explained. Power. Do Infinity Stones have a name too? Team America's pupils shook. He first came into contact with the cosmic cube. But I never thought that there was an infinity stone inside. You Earth starmen are really rare and strange. Rocket for Bear grinned. Little rat. I advise you to speak politely. Clint Barton sneered. Who are you talking about? Little rat. Rocket Raccoon raises a ray gun. Just aim the muzzle at Clint Patton. Due to the ownership of the Infinity Stones, there was even a conflict between the Silver Guard and the Avengers. The battle is on the verge of breaking out. A gap has also risen in the hearts of both sides. The previous friendships are gone. But at this time, a glittering secret door slowly opened. A thin figure appeared in front of everyone. She wears an eye-shaped metal pendant on her chest. He wears a bright yellow robe and a black tunic. There is an otherworldly smell all over the body. It's like coming from another world. Like a hermit who has become an immortal. Stark. Groot. My name is Furuchi. The current Supreme Mage, and also the Master of Karma-Taj, the leader of all occult mages. I hope you don't have any more arguments. The Battle of New York has just ended. Why bother? Gu Yimou recommended himself. She had not intended to show up at this time. However, the situation turned out unexpectedly. It can only be mediated by her, a neutral person. The owner of Karma-Taj. Supreme Mage. Unheard of. Where did you come from? Yinhu and Avengers looked at each other, and they both saw a hint of surprise in each other's eyes. For this bald nun of unknown origin. Everyone immediately did not dare to act rashly. After all, the way she appeared was so cool. It made everyone at the scene think of another mysterious power. Magic. Karma-Taj, hidden from the earth. Peace in the real world is always guarded. And I'm in charge of an infinity stone. This is not the place to talk. I invite you to the New York Temple. The corners of Ji Yuyi's mouth flashed into a smile. A secret door slowly opened again. Direct access to the New York Temple at 177A Bleak Street. This New York Temple is decorated in a simple atmosphere. Inside, vintage furniture and mysterious utensils are on display. In the air, there was also a refreshing sandalwood. Groot did not hesitate in the slightest. I walked into the New York Temple. Ding! Congratulations to the host for arriving at the check-in location. Rewards are distributed. A crisp and pleasant sound sounded. Groot almost laughed. It doesn't take any effort. Of course. He didn't check the check-in rewards for the first time. Because the famous Supreme Mage is standing in front of him. Carefully look at the scales of life on his chest. This gemstone is actually full of vigorous breath of life. From where? The Supreme Mage had an amused expression on his face. This is the holy relic of the flower god Colossus. I am the last descendant of the Colossus of the flower god. Shouldering the mission of revitalizing the flower god Colossus clan. Ancient One Mage. The Guardians of the Galaxy came to Earth without malice. You should know how powerful Thanos is. Groot was honest. In front of such a peerless powerhouse, pretending is useless. Sincere. It's a special move. Indeed. I know Thanos. I also know everything about his past. I can get rid of him easily. However, the future as you know it will be unrecognizable. Follow nature. It is the supreme law of Karma-Taj. Ji Yuyi smiled. But the words she said shocked everyone at the scene. What? Can you get rid of Thanos easily? Are you kidding? This is a crazy titan. Gamora, Nebula, Drax, Rocket Raccoon, blurted out directly. I didn't realize the power of the Supreme Mage at all. I think it's a priority. Or decide where the Infinity Stones belong. 4 Infinity Stones can't be gathered in one place. The American team looked serious. He immediately expressed his opinion. That's right. The Infinity Stones are too dangerous. Widow sisters, Hawkeye, Saul, also highly agreed. Team America has his own plans. Since the importance of the Infinity Stones is self-evident. Moreover, the Cosmic Emperor Thanos is also thirsty for the Infinity Stones. Then you must not allow all the Infinity Stones to gather in one place. What's more, the Guardians of the Galaxy is a mysterious force. For Avengers, it is extremely strange and of unknown origin. No one would trust the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's an inevitability. However, the appearance of the Supreme Mage. Once again, the whole situation becomes delicate. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers exchanged looks. Since you can get rid of Thanos. So why not? The widow's voice was crisp. She has curly burgundy hair and wears an Aegis uniform. Curvy. Glamorous. It also made everyone in the Silver Protector almost unable to look away. I told you. Natasha. Karma Taj can't go against nature. If I get rid of Thanos, the future will be unpredictable. Gradually out of my control. It's not a secret. One of you is the Terminator of Thanos. The Supreme Mage smiled. There is also nothing to hide. Eyes wandered through everyone. One of us is about to take out Thanos. Peter Quill rolled his eyes. He thought that the ancient mage was referring to himself. Because he's Star-Lord. His body flows with the power of the heavenly gods. It's just not awakening yet. Quill. Your father also planted his own doppelganger on Earth. He is trying to assimilate the whole world. I hope you don't join him. The Supreme Mage had a keen eye. Instantly insight into Bodquer's heart. It also revealed a big secret. Walter. Assimilating the Earth. Peter Quill looked surprised. His father turned out to be a real. Don't worry. The Guardians of the Galaxy will surely defeat Igo. Groot looked calm. If Avengers are linked, the 4 Infinity Stones are resolutely not allowed to be controlled by him. Then, it will also cause a war between Silver Protection and Avengers. Both organizations will also tear their faces. Even, the Silver Protection will attract the hatred of Odin, the king of the gods. After all, if you want to repair the Rainbow Bridge, the Cosmic Cube is indispensable. Odin. Lord God of Asgard. He is a deservedly top heavenly father. Strength above Gu. Once he sends troops to the Void Land. The entire Void Land will have no peace. Thanos was also afraid of this king of the gods, so he did not come to Earth in person. Groot. What is your opinion? Furuchi raised his eyebrows. She has discovered the Guardians of the Galaxy, faintly centered on Groot. It seems that Groot formed this Guardians of the Galaxy. The future she knows is completely different. My opinion. Actually, I agree with Rogers. However, the Infinity Stones must not get together. Ancient One Mage, you should have heard the story of the Dark Elves. In the near future, the cosmic wonder of the gathering of celestial bodies will erupt. Etheric particles will also be revived. Earth. There are actually 5 Infinity Stones. Groot's eyes burned. The words he said also made the Supreme Mage look suspicious. Dark Elves. Ether particles. Even on Earth. For this past, the ancient mage also knew very little. Ether particles are real gems. Time, space, mind, power, reality. The 5 Infinity Stones have gathered in one place. And we're still arguing. Stark, with your ingenuity, should have anticipated the danger. Groot instantly controlled the audience. It also silenced the Silver Guardian and the Avengers. Intellectual. You really have an eye. I have an idea, though. Tony Stark's brain racing. Just now, he came up with a great plan. He wants to put a steel armor on Earth. In this way, even if Thanos comes to Earth, there will be no return. Keep enemies out of space. And he also has this financial and material resources to achieve this goal. Earth Warframe. Stark, this idea of yours is ridiculous. The leaders of other countries will never let you do whatever you want. Clint Barton frowned. He is a level 8 agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Has an extremely keen sense of politics. The survival of the entire planet is at stake. Other kingdoms will definitely not stay away. After all, in the ancient country on the other side of the ocean, a secret army has also been formed. I heard that one person can be worth 1 million soldiers. Even, there are the relevant departments of S.H.I.E.L.D. Divine Spear Bureau. There are more than 150,000 resident agents. There are also mutants involved. Mutants? What kind of species is this? Drax snorted. This is a new human caused by a genetic mutation. All variants are born with an X factor. Out of fear, the top of the Federation covered up the secret. The Widow's sister explained. Who is the boss of the mutants? Since the Earth hates mutants, it is better to let mutants come to our Void Land. Peter Quill had a whim. Land of Nothingness. The head of an ancient god. Previously, it existed only as an interstellar mine. There are no military facilities. The overall level is also uneven. It is simply not enough to defend against the Thanos army. If the righteous people of the mutant group come to the Land of Nothingness, then, it will also raise the overall level of the Void Land to a higher level again. Then you should visit him in person. Charles Xavier. He's an alpha-level mutant. I live in the Selin district of Westchester County, New York. Ancient Mage's eyes flashed slightly. Professor X. The strongest brain on Earth. After wearing the brainwave enhancement device, you can raise your spiritual power to the Omega level. All natural things, the life and death of all living beings, are all in one thought. Ding. Please check in at the next check-in location within 30 minutes. Check-in location. Xavier Manor. A crisp and pleasant voice broadcast sounded. Groot froze. Xavier Manor. Junior Genius Academy. In this American comic world with an unknown sequence, Professor X really exists. Perhaps, he can become another secret organization. Groot narrowed his eyes slightly. In my mind, a bold idea also came to mind. Since you know what this Charles Xavier, wouldn't it be nice to bring him directly? Rocket Raccoon was speechless. Why bother to run to the Silent district of Westchester? Walking is also tiring, okay. Everyone in the Silver Protector looked in agreement. Even the Avengers had some expectations. Charles Xavier. Tony Stark had heard the name. He is a PhD in the fields of biology, genetics, psychology. The Xavier Group he founded also controls the shares of several consortiums. Even when Stark Industries' stock plummeted, Xavier Group also bought hundreds of millions of shares. It became one of the shareholders of Stark Industries. But he had never met Charles Xavier. Since you made a request, then I will not be polite. The Supreme Mage raised an eyebrow. Immediately, he raised his hand and created a secret door. Karma Taj and Xavier College of Genius have always been in contact. Even Karma Taj often uses the power of the X-Men to repel evil visitors from other dimensions. Professor X, who has the strongest brain on Earth. The existence of Karma Taj was discovered as early as the last century. I have also become accustomed to the secret door. Through the secret door, you can see a luxuriously decorated office. The bald old man in a wheelchair had an amiable smile on his face. Also fought with the Silver Protectors and the Avengers heroes. Ancient One Mage. The New York Temple is really lively. You haven't been a guest at my home for a long time. Due to Professor X's mobility problems, everyone also took the initiative to walk through the door of the secret method and came to the legendary Xavier Genius Academy. At the same time, a burst of heavenly sound sounded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the check-in. Rewards are distributed. Listen to voice prompts in your ears. Groot could barely hide his smile. However, he didn't have time to check the check-in rewards for 2 check-ins. It can only temporarily calm the mind. Forcibly cheer up. He and Peter Quill coincided. Since mutants are discriminated against on Earth, it's better to emigrate to the Land of Nothingness. Land of Nothingness. As the head of an ancient heavenly god, the volume is comparable to a large city. It can fully accommodate 1 million people. Even if all mutants come to the void, there will be no resource run. Moreover, the rare products produced in the void land are enough to feed all mutants. No more having to endure the humiliating life of hiding in hiding. I saw your heroism on TV. Tony Stark, Steve Rogers. Thank you for your contribution to protecting this city. And you guys. What should I call it? Professor X smiled. His attitude also made everyone feel like a spring breeze. It's like a thick elder. It is also not the same as ordinary people. I heard you're a mutant. I thought it looked weird. Rocket Raccoon said with a disappointed look. Compared to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Professor X's appearance is indeed flawless. Who injured you? Drax's face was full of doubt. A mistake. Speaking of the past, Professor X's face also showed a hint of loneliness. Back in the 60s of the last century, he founded the X-Men. It also successfully dismantled the Hellfire Club's conspiracy to provoke 3 wars. However, due to Magneto's negligence, a bullet hit his spine. Directly caused his lower body to be paralyzed. I still don't feel anything. Maybe I can heal you. Groot laughed. Really? Professor X looked puzzled. Who wants to be disabled all the time if given the opportunity to treat themselves? However, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Groot must have asked for him. Yes, that's right. I hope you will consider moving Xavier Genius Academy to the void. Located deep in space, in the head of an ancient god. Since the Earth can't accommodate you, it's better to find another way. Gamora, too, expressed her sincerity at this time. Land of Nothingness. The head of an ancient god. Professor X and the Avengers frowned. In the head, there is a city. I really want to visit the void. The widowed sister's beautiful eyes lit up. As the most professional top agent. Although she jumped ship and came to S.H.I.E.L.D., she did not change her nature. She is desperate to investigate the full information of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Penetrate inside the enemy. It is undoubtedly the easiest and most effective way. Absolutely. Welcome to the void. Peter Quill looked stunned. I couldn't help but talk to my widowed sister. Widowed sister. Trained by the Red Room organization since childhood. Has superb acting skills at the level of a small golden man. After some conversation, a lot of information came out of Peter Quill's mouth. For the intention of the Guardians of the Galaxy, he also has his own speculation. It turns out that the Guardians of the Galaxy has only been established recently. He killed the second general of Obsidian under Thanos. There is a proverb among the great powers of the East. It's called, Pifu is not guilty, he is guilty. The existence of the Infinity Stones will inevitably bring bad luck. That's why you're planning to bring mutants to the void. Professor X also came up with his own opinion. My heart also rippled slightly. As president of Xavier College of Genius. The leader of the X-Men. A rare alpha-level mutant in the world. But he was also unable to change the fate of an entire race. If you can bring mutants with weak abilities to the void. Get sheltered by the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also a blessing. Of course. The whole process is voluntary. He will not impose his will on anyone. What about you, Professor? Groot asked. If I leave Earth. Then, the Sentinel Special Service, after discovering the truth, will definitely start a war against the mutant race. Even my old friend Eric will lose control. Professor X politely declined Groot's kindness. He didn't expect Groot to actually cure his disability. However, I admire you for who you are. Professor. I hope you don't resist. I will heal your spine. Groot stepped forward slowly. Directly pressed Professor X's shoulder. The scales of life on his chest radiated with a dazzling light. Moment. Injected a breath of life into Professor X's body. Scales of life. It has an endless amount of energy. Even the power gem must succumb to this scale of life. With the scales of life, it is enough to heal and remodel the broken nerve tissue again. Even, the intercolumn cells act as a binder. In an instant. Professor X felt a huge breath of life washing over his body. The wrinkles on his face are also slowly dissipating at a rate visible to the naked eye. The whole person is 10 years younger. And his paralyzed lower limbs and atrophied leg muscles gradually became full. He actually experienced the existence of his feet again. Get out of the wheelchair. He stood up directly. The expression on his face was also extremely excited. This kind of divine skill made everyone in the Avengers marvel. You even have this ability. Excuse me, can you cure me? Stark pointed to his chest. There were still a few pieces of shrapnel left in his body. If there is no arc reactor to absorb shrapnel, shrapnel will surely pierce the heart. His whole body was going to die. No kidding. Treat you. What's good for us? Rocket Raccoon was the first to jump out against it. He doesn't wait to see the Avengers. After all, the Avengers did not provide any help or pay anything. Groot. I am willing to provide technical support. In the Void Land, there shouldn't be a genius scientist like me, right? Tony Stark raised an eyebrow. One word to the point. Land of Nothingness. There are no large military facilities for the time being. In the face of Thanos' army, there is no countermeasure at all. That's why Silver Guardian came to Earth to find help from others. Stark. If you are willing to help the Void, put on a layer of Earth armor. Then, I will also heal your unspeakable secrets. Groot smiled oddly. Unspeakable. Please. I'm strong. Stark would never admit that he was already empty. Soon, the two reached a tacit understanding. Tony Stark will also be in the Void and implement his Earth Warframe plan in advance. The head of an ancient god. How great is it? What a posture. Avengers and everyone are imagining. I can't wait to see it. Welcome. Even if the Earth does not explode, it can come to the Void and settle. Peter Quill said with a strange yin and yang. Except for the widowed sister, the other members of the Avengers did not get his favor. Especially this Tony Stark. A posturing look. Think a few stinky money is great. Peter Quayle was indignant. I heard that the Void Land is capable of producing rare resources. Perhaps, you can also help me complete the update of the steel suit. Tony Stark's eyes lit up. That's right. The head of the ancient heavenly god is priceless in itself. All bones, spinal cord, brain tissue, on any planet can be sold for a good price. Gamora's sales pitch said. Any planet. How many civilizations are there outside Earth? Team America frowned. If other cosmic civilizations, like other Swedish people, appear in the solar system, then, there is no way to do it at all. It can only rely on Tony Stark's Earth Warframe plan. However, the Earth is not united. No absolute regime can dominate everything. Earth Warframe Project. It will be against the interests of other nations. 100 years after Tony Stark, the ownership of the Earth Warframe will also become a big unsolved case. Reasonable. The Earth Warframe plan is almost impossible to implement. In the universe, there are 3 major galactic empires. All cosmic civilizations have also formed the Galactic Council. It is almost impossible to provoke a war without permission. Only the Kree Empire is an exception. Of course. The existence we need to watch out for, and the Cosmic Emperor Thanos. He also has a vanguard under him. Both strength and endurance are far superior to those of the Chitauri. Nebula's face was solemn. The jealousy of the universe Emperor Thanos has penetrated deep into the marrow. If you need help from the X-Men, we can't help it. Professor X looked sincere. Even, he has begun to hatch immigration plans. Migrate all mutants with weak abilities to the void. However, the most crucial problem has not yet been solved. That's where the Infinity Stones belong. It's not as good as this. Asgard. Avengers. Silver Guard. Karma Taj, protect one Infinity Stone separately. The Infinity Stones must be separated, not left in the same place. Thor suggested. As for Asgard, the Infinity Stones that need to be in charge. It is undoubtedly the Cosmic Cube. I also need the Scepter of the Mind to study it. Stark said seriously. If the Earth Warframe is planned to be implemented, Jarvis certainly can't take charge of the entire Iron Legion. Therefore, he must research more advanced artificial intelligence. And the key thing he needs is the Mind Gem in front of him. Through the Mind Gem, it will definitely be possible to develop a super artificial intelligence with autonomous consciousness and can be continuously upgraded. Enough to ensure that the Earth Warframe program is foolproof. Groot, I want to hear your opinion. The ancient mage smiled playfully. Because it's a one-size-fits-all solution. There's no better way to do it for the time being. Okay. I hope you can protect the Infinity Stones. If there is any mistake, remember to call the Guardians of the Galaxy as soon as possible. We swear to defend this sea of stars. Even if you don't get paid, it's still obligatory. Groot handed over the Psychic Scepter and the Cosmic Cube respectively. Asgard will not forget the contribution of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor's face was full of excitement. Take the Cosmic Cube. He teleported to Asgard. Before that, he did not ignore the evil god Loki. With the energy of the Cosmic Cube, it is enough to take people through the stars. You just handed over the Infinity Stones to that big guy. Rocket Raccoon was surprised. Don't worry. Sooner or later, the Infinity Stones will return to us. Groot looked mysterious. Immediately, the Psychic Scepter was also handed to Tony Stark. He was well aware of Tony Stark's ambitions. He is about to start the Ultron project. However, he invented the artificial intelligence Ultron. In the end, a dangerous conclusion was drawn from various data. Only the extermination of humanity can be exchanged for eternal peace. However, in another time and space, Earth's 838 universe, the Ultron project was a great success. All superheroes were retired. Even Scarlet Witch lived a leisurely life as a husband and godson. So, before that, he also had expectations. Thank you for your cooperation. Groot. Welcome to Earth at any time. Team America breathed a sigh of relief. However, post-disaster reconstruction also requires energy. The Battle of New York caused astronomical financial damage. Open the door to the secret law. The Ancient One Mage also sent the Avengers back to Stark Mansion. And she will return to the New York Temple. Professor X, you don't mind. We're staying at Xavier Genius Academy for the time being, right? Groot smiled. It's an honor. Professor X was delighted. He was able to heal both legs. Completely dependent on Groot in front of you. He will also introduce the Guardians of the Galaxy to the X-Men. Even, he planned to go to the Void Land himself. Only by determining that the land of nothingness really exists. It was only then did he dare to start working as an immigrant. That's it. The Battle of New York is officially over. The Ancient Mage and the Avengers also returned to their positions. The Silver Guardian stayed in the guest room of the Zell Genius Academy. All the mutant teachers and students were incredible. Guardians of the Galaxy actually came to X Academy. I heard that they will take us to another planet with them. Really fake. Another planet. I'm tired of such dull days for a long time. John the Burning Man's eyes lit up. Almost immediately, I came to the door and wanted to join the Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry, child. Guardians of the Galaxy is not from everyone. Rocket Raccoon laughed. I didn't care about this little fart boy's self-nomination at all. And this also caused the hatred of John the Burning Man. Xavier Manor. Green grass. The years are quiet. It's like a paradise in the middle of a busy city. However, Professor X frowned at all times. Recently, he has a faint sense of foreboding. His old friend Eric may be about to act. Magneto. Eric Lanchel. He is a mutant supremacist. Because of his tragic childhood experiences, he hated humans with extreme. Swear to overthrow the tyranny of humanity. The world is ruled by mutants. However, Professor X is a pacifist in the mutant camp. He knows the extremes and dangers of Magneto. Unless it has the power to sweep all regimes. Otherwise, this delusion simply cannot be realized. Due to the difference in philosophy, the old wrongdoers of Professor X and Magneto are also becoming increasingly tense. Magneto has never given up his great ideals. Even, he set his sights on a mutant girl named Anime. Brought Anna Marie to her lair by threatening innocent people. No one knows what he really wants. Even Professor X couldn't locate Magneto. And on this stormy night, a middle-aged man with a pale face knocked directly on the door of Xavier Manor. Counselor Robert Kelly. What's wrong with you? It seems that the face is not right. Phoenix Girl Chin Gray said worriedly. The Silver Protectors also rushed to hear the news. See this Robert Kelly MP. Groot thought thoughtfully. It seems that I am in the world of old history. The X-Men universe is divided into two chapters, Old History and New History. And the dividing point is the Paris Peace Agreement of 1973. Raven, a witch full of anger, shot Bolivar at a meeting of the Paris Peace Agreement. Dr. Teslak. This directly led to the successful implementation of the Sentinel program. By cracking the mutant gene of the witch Ruiwan, the Sentinel robot also has the extraordinary ability to change forms. The body material used. It is also a kind of biotechnology that has never been seen before. And not metal in the conventional sense. Even Magneto can't control the Sentinel robot. Sentinel robots, almost all mutants. And as a last resort, Wolverine goes back in time to rewrite history and reverse the future. Since then, the new history has fully covered the old history. Wait, if you let Wolverine rewrite the past, doesn't that mean that I might cease to exist? Groot frowned. His heart was full of worry. Reverse the future. It means that everything he knows will be unrecognizable. In the entire new history world, only Wolverine Rogan retains all memories. Even the Groot crossing itself may be covered by a new history. He doesn't want this tragedy to happen. It seems that he needs to help the X-Men solve the crisis of genocide. As for this Robert Kelly MP, he also pushed for the Mutant Registration Act before. Mutant Registration Act. There are hardly any human rights to speak of. Councilman Kelly advocates that all mutants go to the local government. Names public. Open your identity. Public address. Open ability. Moreover, it is subject to the supervision of the local government. However, Raven, the witch, kidnaps him. Magneto also modifies the device with a variant. Transform it into a mutant. Counselor Kelly. Mind if I read your memory? Professor X's face was solemn. His hunch came true. I just don't know how the little naughty is doing. Soon, through his innate psychic abilities, he invaded the brain of Councilman Robert Kelly. I also successfully read the experiences of Congressman Robert Kelly. I saw inside a dark and damp cave. Magneto is weak and powerless. He was helped out by the witch. While passing by Robert Kelly, he whispered in Kelly's ear. Welcome, my brother. What? Magneto has actually developed a variant transformation device. Laser Eye, Storm Girl, and Beast Hank also felt a burst of strangeness. Of course, the crowd was not surprised. Because the brainwave enhancement device under the dangerous training room also has a share of Magneto's credit. Mr. Groot, with the abilities you have, is it possible to cure Counselor Robert Kelly? Professor X looked forward to it. Of course. Groot stepped forward. The palm pressed against the chest of the Robert Kelly counselor. The scales of life also emitted a burst of brilliant light. The endless breath of life quickly stabilized the physical condition of Congressman Robert Kelly. Even if the mutated modification device caused his genes to collapse, he was able to recover in an instant. However, at this moment, he has become a mutant in the true sense of the word. Through this dangerous experience, Councilman Kelly also greatly improved the discrimination against mutant groups. Professor, thank you for your help. After I return to Woods Point Mansion, I will also announce the cancellation of the mutant registration bill. However, you must stop Magneto, he must have some plans. Councilman Kelly was ashamed. The crisis in the balance of his life also made his mentality change dramatically. Mutants. Since it is called a person. Naturally, there are also good and evil, good and bad. And he will continue to fight against the evil forces. At the same time, Groot finally has time to check his check-in rewards. Immediately, I saw an ancient scroll come into view. See the name of this prop. Groot suddenly felt a hint of joy in his heart. Book of Immortals. Through this book, you can master the most perfect immortal mode. Note, the flaws in the immortal pattern have been erased by the system. Closing parenthesis. Immortal mode. This is a special ability in the world of Hokage. Once you master this ability, you can absorb the energy of nature everywhere. Generate an unprecedented immortal chakra in your body. You can cast all kinds of powerful immortal methods. Greatly enhance the power of all ninjutsu. Once the immortal mode is turned on. Strength, speed, perception, and recovery will also be elevated to an unprecedented level. Even above the immortal mode, there is a higher level. It's named 6 Immortal Mode. 6 Tao Immortals. As a ninja ancestor, ninja god, he didn't just start the shinobi sect. He also divided the 10 tails into 9 parts of chakra. Moreover, he used the yin-yang escape technique to create 9-tailed beasts. He was also the first 10-tailed Manzuli. The one who unraveled the true meaning of chakra. He has a blood snare that is above the blood succession limit and bloodstain elimination. Even, he has the highest pupil power to control the Eye of Life and Death. Originated from the ultimate pupil technique of the Itsuki family. Reincarnation Eye. Of course, there are no 10 tails in the world of American manga. He also couldn't transform into a 10-tailed human pillar force for the time being. However, his strength will definitely get an explosive increase. After the mood calms down, he looked at another item reward again. This is a crystal clear crystal. You can clearly feel the surging mysterious energy, pouring out from inside the crystal. This is Mind Development Crystal. It can stimulate the holder's brain potential and give the host unprecedented super mental power. Neonly develops crystals. From Super Runaway. In the play, after the protagonist trio touches the Nian-Li development crystal, they have unparalleled super mental power. You can control almost some of the things you want to control. You can even crush an abandoned car into scrap metal in the air. Book of Immortals. Nian-Li develops crystals. It instantly made Groot smile. The production of the system must undoubtedly be a high-quality product. Through the Book of Immortals and the development of crystals, his strength will also soar again. There was hardly any hesitation. He took out the Book of Immortals and the Nian Power Development Crystal. The moment when you hold the mental power to develop the crystal. He felt a vast and boundless huge energy, surging towards his body. His brain also emitted a tingling feeling. It seems to open an unknown mysterious mechanism. In an instant, the world in front of Groot has changed. He seems to be able to capture the rhythm of the whole world. It is also possible to extend your thinking into the distance. Control everything he has to control. Soon, the chair in front of him rose to the ground, trembling and shaking. As Groot gradually becomes skilled, for the sudden talent of mindfulness, Groot is also practiced and perfect. You can get the chair close to you. You can even wrap your mind around your body and get rid of gravity. Psychokinesis. Unfathomable. But it's real. The ebony throat among the 4 generals of Obsidian is a master of mental power. The abilities he possesses can suppress Doctor Strange. And Groot's brain was implanted with a seed of mental power. Once it blooms and bears fruit, he will also be transformed into a mental Superman. Achieve incredible feats with mental power. Moreover, he can also feel the ubiquitous natural energy that is converging towards him. In the blink of an eye, a new power was generated in the body. The Hokage world called it Fairy Chakra. Through the Fairy Chakra, the power of all ninjutsu can be greatly enhanced. You can also turn on the legendary immortal mode. However, Groot had a flash of light. The scales of life on his chest and the power gem in his palm began to emit brilliant light. He began to absorb the energy that tried to absorb the infinity stones and the scales of life. Quick as a wink, the immortal chakra in his body swelled and seemed to turn into a brilliant ocean. The stars are like the Milky Way, dazzling. The immortal mode he mastered also instantly climbed to the realm of Dacheng. Of course, he did not turn on the immortal mode at the first time. Pressing matter. Or solve the urgent crisis caused by Magneto. The World Summit is coming soon. All the nations on Earth, all the heads of state will come to Alice Island for a grand World Summit. And he tried to transform all the heads of state of the world by transforming the device with variants. If Magneto's plan succeeds, it will surely lead to 3 battles. Because of the variant modification device, there is a defect. Without Groot's help, Councilman Robert Kelly would have already broken his genes and died on the spot. This behavior of Magneto is undoubtedly provoking the whole world. It will also invite retaliation against the entire mutant race. Maybe the Sentry robots will all come out. If Logan the Wolverine goes back in time, reverse the future. The new history covers the old history. His existence has become an unknown. After all, he doesn't belong to this world. The soul comes from another time and space. That's a 1/2 chance of snapping your fingers. Reversing the consequences of the future is almost certain. Walter. There are more than 200 countries on Earth. Oh my god. It's too chaotic. Rocket Raccoon scratched his head. For this situation, he did not have the slightest prediction. Because all cosmic civilizations, without exception, are highly centralized authoritarian states. Without a high degree of centralization, it means that the entire planet's resources cannot be mobilized. It is impossible to cultivate the top scholars and experts. No wonder. Earthstar is still in the prenuclear era. None of them have become cosmic first-class civilizations. Nebula and Gamora were also not emotional. Perhaps, by investigating the location of the little Naughty, we can find out where Magneto is hiding. The Phoenix Woman suggested. Jean Grey. He is tall and has long fiery red hair. Her face is beautiful and beautiful. The curve of the business line is amazing. Like a top supermodel. Her body exudes a faint aura of danger. It made everyone feel a little pressure. This Phoenix girl. What's going on? Peter Quill muttered softly. Laser eye. Why are you wearing a pair of red quartz eyepieces? Drax whispered. Because of my ability. Without the seclusion of the red quartz eyepieces, I wouldn't be able to see properly. My eyes emit powerful shockwaves. Laser-eyed Scott explained. Mutants all have different abilities. Never seen a similar species. Gamora frowned. And at this time, Groot interrupted the crowd briefly. In fact, the origin of the mutant race can be traced back to the head of the ancient heavenly god. Walter. Ancient celestial god. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Rocket Raccoon looked shocked. The Void Land is the head of an ancient heavenly god. The existence of the cosmic god is hardly a secret. However, but no one has ever seen a living cosmic god. And when Professor X and the Phoenix Girl heard this, a look of surprise appeared on their faces. Tenjin. More powerful than God. Wolverine Logan sipped a cigar. His hair is shaped like a wolverine. He was born with a super healing factor. No matter how much damage you suffer, even if you fall into volcanic lava, you can still recover as before. Later, he was involved in the X-Arms program. The bones of the whole body were replaced by Edmund alloy. completely transformed into a steely Wolverine. Tenjin. At the beginning of the birth of the universe, it was responsible for creating the sun, spreading light, electricity, force, and heat. The Void Land is the head of an ancient heavenly god. Once the ancient gods also came to the earth 4 times. In the body of prehistoric apes, a benign compound capable of infinite mutation was implanted. And you call it the X factor. In other words, mutants are all descendants of gods and should be above all living beings. All human beings actually have X factor. Groot said. The words also shocked the X-Men. It turns out that mutants are not heretics and cancers. It is a higher race created by the celestial god of the universe. Except for mutants. The cosmic gods have also created the mutants, the Eternals, and the Skurrus, who are good at transformation. Today, the mutants are extinct, and the Eternals and the Skurru are hiding on Earth. Groot continued. Mutants, Eternals, Skurrus. Are they all higher races created by the gods of the universe? Professor X listened to Groot's words, and the expression on his face gradually became strange. He has never been exposed to this kind of history. I felt a pang of wonder in my heart. Of course, he didn't take Groot's word for it. It's about having a skeptical attitude. Because he has never seen the existence of the cosmic god. Even the existence of the mutants, the Eternals, and the Skurrus are unheard of. Skurru people. It really belongs to the creation of the gods. However, the Kree Empire has overthrown the Skurrus. Gamora, Nebula, looked at each other. The Skurrus actually hid on Earth. Once the Kree Empire learns this secret, it will definitely send Starfleet. Kill the remnants of the Skurrus. Okay. It's a priority. Or solve the mutant crisis caused by the mutant Magneto. A smile lit up at the corner of Groot's mouth. Soon, everyone came to the brainwave enhancement device in the depths of the dangerous training room. This brainwave enhancement device can amplify Professor X's psychic power. Make it able to listen to the entire planet. However, just as Professor X was wearing the brainwave enhancement device, Groot stopped him. I suggest you check out the brain enhancement device. Groot looked serious. Because the witch Raven came to X Academy in the play. She directly destroyed the device. It also almost caused Professor X to fall unconscious. This device is really passive. Rocket Raccoon's eyes flashed. With the supreme wisdom endowed with his super intelligence and hands-on ability. He could see at a glance the flaws in the brainwave enhancement device. Ruiwan must have done it. Jean Grey, with laser eyes, had a jealous expression on her face. If Professor X rashly used this device, the consequences would be unimaginable. Later, Jean Grey repaired the brain enhancement device. Professor X mobilizes the ability. I saw that the scene in front of everyone's eyes also became strange. It seems to see the whole Earth, the mind world of all living things. One after another, the humanoid figures showed 2 completely different colors. Red represents mutants. White represents ordinary people. Soon, Professor X locates the existence of the little naughty Animiri. The Statue of Liberty is actually located in New York Bay. Magneto actually intends to turn on the mutant transformation device during the World Summit. The Storm Woman's back was cold. Once the Magneto project is successful, all the heads of state participating in the World Summit will die. And this will also cause turmoil in the whole world. It will even lead to vendettas and revenge against the entire mutant race. Without further ado, hurry up, Jean Grey said busily. Soon, the Silver Guardians and the X-Men arrived at the arsenal of Xavier Manor. I saw a black fighter with a streamlined design, quietly docked here. This fighter, with its most advanced stealth livery, can isolate almost all electromagnetic and satellite sensing devices. The flight speed is also enough to break the sound barrier. I thought Earth technology was really useless. Rocket Raccoon was amazed. In addition to the lack of space jump function, this Blackbird fighter is almost the same as the Milano. USS Milano. It is still parked on the roof of the Stark building. Without the appropriate permissions, it is simply impossible to enter it. I'm sure Tony Stark won't come here either. Silver Protector boarded the warplane. A curious baby. For the famous Magneto, there are also some expectations in my heart. Magneto. Known as a god-level mutant. He has the ability to control all natural magnetic fields. Be careful. Storm Woman controls the fighter and rises off the ground. At the same time, the Blackbird fighter also turned on stealth mode. God level mutants. Mutants, there is even a level. Drax was surprised. That's right. Mutant abilities, there are 6 levels: Ibutsilon, Delta, Gamma, Beta, Alpha, and Omega. Omega level, it's a small group of mutants standing at the tip of the pyramid. Orlo and Chingray, the mutant ability they possess has actually reached the level of Omega level. Laser Eye explained. Walt, Storm Girl and Phoenix Girl are the Omega level mutants standing at the top of the pyramid. God level mutants. If the 2 women can come to the Void Land, then the Void Land will also become the top force in the universe. There's no need to fear the crazy titans at all. Even the supreme wisdom of the Kree Empire will become insignificant. Silver Protector's eyes lit up. Even the eyes that looked at the 2 women changed. However, 70% of the mutants belong to the Epsilon and Delta classes. Mutants at this level have major flaws in almost their own abilities, either like monsters or better than nothing. Without exception, they are all war scum. Jean Grey smiled wryly. Omega-level mutants. Hailed as the ultimate threat to humanity. Almost all possess unlimited powers, or immortal and all-powerful mutant talents. Every Omega-level mutant can easily annihilate the stars. Generally has God-level strength. Even a very few Omega-level mutants still have the qualifications to be above the Earth Heavenly Father. That's why the mutant race was feared by the Star-Spangled Federation. Even General William Stryker took the lead in setting up a Sentry Special Service. Mutant criminals specializing in research and brainwashing violent murder. Even Professor X was helpless. Because not all mutants believe in his idea of peace. And he can't save all the weak and small kind. Therefore, the immigration plan proposed by Yinhu has begun to take root in his heart. Since it is impossible to change the status quo of the Earth, then adjust the living environment of mutants. Land of nothingness. Undoubtedly the best place to go. Compared to Earth, extraterrestrial civilizations are more inclusive. There will be no discrimination and hatred because of each other's racial differences. That's right. We are very welcome to immigrate mutants to the void. The land of nothingness, albeit as the head of a cosmic god. It's big enough to hold 1 million people. What's more, the X factor in the mutant human body comes from the cosmic heavenly god. Maybe after arriving in the Void Land, the mutant abilities of all mutants will also be able to evolve twice. Groot followed suit. After he revealed the origin of mutants, the attraction of the ancient celestial god's head also made all the X-Men eager to move. Secondary evolution. The head of the ancient heavenly god still has this ability. Logan narrowed his eyes. Already in the last century he lost all his memories. No matter where you live, there is almost no difference. Yes, that's right. Second evolution. Maybe Chin can also suppress the Phoenix power in your body in the Void Land. Groot plays with taste. You actually know about the existence of the Phoenix power. Jean Grey looked surprised. She never told Silver Goat the secret. Of course. The Flower Colossus, as the oldest plant life in the known universe, almost knows all the mysteries. The power of the Phoenix is both a blessing and a shackle. Professor X doesn't have this ability to help you control the power of the Phoenix. Only me. Groot's eyes burned. Let the X-Men all fall eerily silent. Professor, none of them have this ability. It seems that the Flower God Colossus clan does have a unique place. Soon, the Blackbird fighter sailed at great speed. In the distance, I saw a bronze statue holding a free torch. After the fighter landed, everyone came to the inside of the venue. Also carefully guarding against the attack of the Brotherhood of Mutants. Brotherhood of Mutants. This is an evil organization founded by Magneto. The strong are like clouds, and the talents are abundant. They also believe in mutant supremacy. Even the witch Ruiwen was seduced by Magneto and became a member of his command. Which name implies she has the ability to change forms at will. Even the iris, voice, gender, fingerprint, can be changed at the same time. Technology can't detect this change now. Of course. Raven the Witch cannot copy the target's memories or the target's abilities. And the Super Skuru among the Skuru can copy the abilities that the target has. At the same time, Groot's eyes flashed. An invisible storm of mental power swept out. Suddenly grabbed Logan the Wolverine on the side. Groot, are you crazy? He's Rogan, not a member of the Brotherhood. Storm Girl, Phoenix Chin, Laser Eye, hurriedly said. Nope. She's Raven. Groot looked calm. Soon, Wolverine Logan's skin twisted. He suddenly transformed into a red-haired woman with blue skin. A pair of yellow pupils cast a murderous and tyrannical gaze. X-Men. You even learned to find foreign aid. Raven was indignant. She didn't find herself at all. When exactly was she exposed? Because of the plants. This potted plant tells me your true identity. I can read all the emotions and thoughts of plants. Groot pointed to the corner. A smug look also appeared on his face. Plants. The witch scolded secretly. Immediately, the toad man hiding in the secret suddenly spewed out a stream of mucus towards the silver protector. He has super stamina and super bouncing ability. Even the tongue turned into a deadly weapon. However, Gamora, wearing a crown of Gila, summoned a sword of the night sky out of thin air. With his invincible might, he instantly penetrated his body. Nailed him to the wall. No. A barbaric roar with suppressed anger sounded. The end of the venue. Suddenly, a burly and strong figure appeared. He has fangs and sharp teeth. Like Wolverine Logan, he has a super regenerative self-healing ability. Even, he and Logan were originally half-brothers. Due to the innate mutant ability. The crazy and tyrannical bloodthirsty thoughts directly drowned all his memories. And he can only rely on Magneto to survive. That's it. The Brotherhood of Mutants is not bad. Rocket Raccoon despised in his heart. Immediately, pull the trigger hard. A brilliant pulse ray poured out. Instantly hit the body of the saber-toothed tiger. Also directly tore his skin. However, the injuries suffered by the saber-toothed tiger actually healed and recovered again at a speed visible to the naked eye. Immediately, the saber-toothed tiger took a big stride, kicked the ground on all fours, and immediately rushed towards the Silver Guardian and the X-Men. He burst out with heaven-defying combat power. Even Gamora's sword of the night sky is difficult to shake his body. Even Drax's fist couldn't make him stop. He is like a raging beast. Unexpectedly suppressed the Silver Protectors and the X-Men for a short time. Scott. Don't make a move yet. Jean Grey said busily. After all, the World Summit is just around the corner. If the Battle of the X-Men attract the attention of the whole world, then, miserable bad luck will surely be incurred. But at this time, a surging storm of mental power instantly enveloped the saber-toothed tiger victor. It's like a mountain falling head-on. The saber-toothed tiger is stagnant. A pitch-black and sharp sword of the night sky pierced his body in an instant. Nailed him to the wall. Even, one of the swords of the night sky penetrated his brain through his mouth. Directly made the saber-toothed tiger lose all consciousness. Fight to solve the mutant crisis caused by Magneto before he regains consciousness. Groot looked deep. Since you are in the world of old history, the mutant extinction event is undoubtedly inevitable. To avoid Logan reversing the future, he can only help the X-Men solve trouble. However, Magneto has long been waiting here. He wears a metal round helmet on his head. Wearing a black trench coat and black cape. He was tall and athletic. Already with a full head of gray hair. But still ambitious. A look of eagle looking at the wolf. He looked at the Silver Protectors who were kicking sideways, and an inexplicable look appeared on his face. Guardians of the Galaxy. You're even trying to stop me. I heard that you plan to let mutants migrate to the void. Then let me create more mutants for you, okay? A burst of unangry words came from afar. Magneto's gaze was gloomy. He can manipulate all forms of natural magnetic fields. You can also make the metal into the shape he wants. He is a natural enemy of Iron Man and Wolverine. Also to blame for this crisis event. As long as he is solved, this conspiracy will be quelled. Magneto. Your mutant modification device has a fatal flaw. Councilman Robert Kelly almost died. Stop it. This behavior of yours will definitely provoke war. Jean Grey looked hostile. Provoking a war. Just what I want. Magneto's gaze was cold. In an instant, he manipulated all the metal substances within the field of vision and floated into the air. As if giving life to a still life. Even the belated Wolverine was fixed to the wall. He has a body of steel and iron. There is simply no way to get rid of the control of magnetic forces. However, another invisible force, like a gushing river, rushed out madly. You. You can even manipulate magnetism. Quote. Magneto exclaimed in silence. I saw overwhelming metal products hovering in the air. It actually started creaking. It's hard to make an inch. Nope. This is Nien Li. Groot curled the corners of his mouth. The whole situation was controlled in an instant. It also won a valuable opportunity for everyone in the Silver Protector. A sword of the night sky, with its invincible power, instantly shot towards Magneto. Sword of the night sky. Thunderbolt. The surface is radiant with a dark and cold luster. Power from Niflheim shaped this sword of the night sky. Therefore, it is neither metallic nor woody. Like a strange mineral that has not yet been discovered. Even Magneto's magnetic field control ability could not reverse the trajectory of the sword of the night sky. I saw the sword of the night sky, in his eyes, constantly enlarged. Moment. Scraped one of his arms. This gray-haired old man felt a burst of pain sweep over. All the metal products also instantly got out of control and targeted him. You guys won. To kill or to kill? Listen to you. Magneto covered his shoulder, blood oozing out of his fingers. A hint of darkness also appeared on his face. Years. Not only does it make him old, but it also weakens his abilities. This god-level mutant is shaped like an ant. Looking at the energetic X-Men in front of him, his eyes became extremely complicated. Magneto. I'll give you a chance to live. I allow you to migrate to the void. In this place of the void, you and your brotherhood can also raise their heads and be people. No more having to endure the wanted of the Sentinel Secret Service. Groot looked grim. He put forward his own conditions. And this is also the deep meaning of the mercy of Gamora's subordinates. Migration to the void. Do I still have a choice? Wan Ji Wang smiled miserably. Forced by the situation. He agreed to Groot's request. Members of the Brotherhood also came to Magneto's side. All of them are untamed. Like an outlaw who disobeys discipline. Groot, are you sure you want Magneto to go to the void? He's dangerous. Jean Grey said worriedly. It doesn't matter. The void is a million light years away from Earth. Once he travels to the void, there is no way to return to Earth. Groot wrote. A million light years. It seems that there is no spatial crack opened by the evil god Loki, and there is no way for you to rush to New York in the first place. Storm Girl raised an eyebrow. Her face is exquisite. Has silver hair with a shawl. The body curve is also comparable to that of the Phoenix Woman. She can manipulate the weather. Summon the storm. Even, she can launch a powerful cosmic torrent. Comparable to the lightning power of Thor, the god of thunder. However, all mutants are mortals in the flesh. It will also hurt, get old. There is simply no protection against extreme environments and the plague of disease. The Magneto in front of you is the clearest example. He had the power to lift a nuclear submarine weighing more than 30,000 tons. However, due to the effects of the years, he has gradually aged and weakened. Completely unable to defeat the younger generation of X-Men. We're going back to the void now. Rocket Raccoon frowned. I haven't played enough. It seems that a lot of golden songs have appeared on the earth again. Peter Quill wears headphones. He listened to soothing melodious tunes. The body swayed involuntarily. Even the Walkman is officially retired. He paid a premium for a brand new Fruit phone. Download almost all his favorite music to his phone. Good food on Earth. Drax snorted. He never closed his mouth. Since this time, even the waste has gained weight. There will be no return to the void for the time being. Because of a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic wonder in 5,000 years. The celestial bodies converge and are about to erupt. At that time, the 9 realms will be connected in a line. Ether particles will also be revived. We must ensure the safety of etheric particles. Groot's gaze sank slightly. Immediately, through the creation power of the Mori fruit, a wooden bracelet was created. They were worn on the wrists of the Brotherhood of Magneto. This bracelet can locate the location of the Magneto Brotherhood in time. It also has a touch of heavenly power. Able to inhibit the effect of Factor X in the mutant human body. Conventional means are almost impossible to remove. Because Groot absorbed the Madman armor. His body, as well as the objects he created, are also indestructible. Celestial convergence. The 9 realms are connected in a line. Really? I can't help but see it. Gamora, Nebula, looked expectant. Ether particles. It's the infinity stones of reality. With this reality gem, it is easy to realize the delusions of the bearer. Turn illusions into reality effortlessly. However, dark elves, born in the beginning of darkness. When the light has not yet appeared. Moreover, you can also use the cursed stone to create monsters with 4 times the power of Thor. Even the black hole grenade equipped by the dark elf can instantly generate a small black hole. Crush everything within range. Buy cakes. Black hole grenades. Is there even such a thing? Quote. If I can crack this thing, the noodles will drink a pot. Rocket for Bear smiled. He has super hands-on ability. I also know almost all the guns and weapons in the known universe. Okay. Go back. Groot rode. Soon, everyone boarded the Blackbird fighter again, and also took the Magneto Brotherhood as a prisoner and brought it to Xavier Genius Academy. A moment later, everyone returned to Xavier Manor. Looking at the old friends who have loved and killed each other for half a century, Professor X's face is extremely complicated. Charles, you actually healed yourself. Magneto was surprised. He once mistakenly injured Professor X's cervical spine. Directly caused Professor X to paralyze his lower body. Only in a wheelchair. However, Professor X actually stood in front of him. Even his appearance is more than 10 years younger. Raven. Eric. Long time no see. Thanks to Mr. Groot's help, I got back on my feet. I hope you can change your minds in the void and become human again. Professor X sent his sincere wishes. It also makes Magneto and the witch's eyes complicated. Charles. I was wrong. But your idea of peace cannot touch mankind. Between humans and mutants, like Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. In the end, there can only be one. Magneto made a figurative analogy. Originally, Neanderthals were distributed throughout the Earth. However, Homo sapiens, exterminated all Neanderthals by virtue of their linguistic superiority. Eric. I heard an interesting statement. The X factor in our body is not born with it. Rather, from the cosmic gods. All humans also have a sleeping X factor. I firmly believe that sooner or later, humanity will evolve. Professor X smiled. Instantly bluffed the witch and Magneto. Cosmic gods. Yes. That's right. The Void Land is the head of an ancient heavenly god. Groot added. But at this time. But 2 unexpected uninvited guests came to Xavier Manor. A new red Ferrari. Driving full power, he drove directly into Xavier Manor. The driver is a famous superhero. Iron Man. Tony Stark. And the middle-aged man in a plaid shirt sat on the side. A shivering look. He almost got emotional and directly transformed into the Hulk and smashed this car. Mr. Stark. Why did you come to Xavier Manor? The Storm Girl looked different. Tony Stark's name, who does not know? Is Professor Charles Xavier there? I have a little bit of a psychological problem to consult him. Tony Stark's eyes were sunken and his face was pale. As if I hadn't slept for a long time. In the Battle of New York, he carried a nuclear bomb on his shoulder and destroyed the Temple 1 mothership of the Chitauri. However, he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. Popularly known as PTSD. He had intended to undergo psychotherapy through Dr. Bruce Banner. But after Dr. Bruce Banner heard his complaint, a rage rose in his heart and he almost transformed into the Hulk. Even, upon returning to Stark Industries, since this time, he has upgraded the Mark series of war frames from Mark 7 to Mark 42. However, PTSD still haunts him deeply. He couldn't sleep for a long time, tossing and turning. And at this time, Bruce Banner mentioned one of the best candidates. It's Dr. Charles Xavier. Professor X. He has a doctorate in the field of psychology, genetics. He is also good at guiding students to return if they are lost. Moreover, he also took advantage of the collapse of Stark Industries' stock price to acquire hundreds of millions of shares. It is as if it has become one of the shareholders of Stark Industries. Let Mr. Stark in. Professor X had a smile on his lips. After calming the mood of the naughty anaria, he came to the richly decorated reception hall. See Tony Stark and Dr. Bruce Banner. Professor X was not the slightest surprise. Because Dr. Banner is also looking for ways to control his emotions. Once transformed into the Hulk, his mental consciousness is suppressed. There is simply no way to control yourself. The Silver Guardians, after hearing Tony Stark's arrival, also came to the reception hall. A look that looks lively and not afraid of big things. Professor, I heard you have psychic abilities. I am physically and mentally exhausted because of PTSD. I am always worried about the invasion of extraterrestrial civilizations. There is also the denial and disapproval of partners. Excuse me, how can I alleviate this anxiety? Tony Stark looked sincere. Your worries are also my worries. After all, the losses caused by the Zeteri are obvious to all. Countless families have been displaced. If a cosmic war breaks out again, the whole world will fall into extinction. Professor X's words flowed like a trickle in everyone's hearts. It also resonated highly with Tony Stark. It's hard to find a soulmate. It is undoubtedly a major distress for him. As one of the smartest people on Earth. Cursed by knowledge. He was chased madly by knowledge. Have a vision unlike any other. Unmatched hands-on ability. No matter any complex skill, you can touch the bypass, and draw inferences from one example. However, apart from the Earth Warframe project, he couldn't think of any other way. How to defend against attacks from cosmic civilizations. Mr. Stark, you're not alone. Behind you, there are also your teammates, there are also us, and there are also the Guardians of the Galaxy. Your anxiety, depression, irritability. It actually comes from the inability to do anything about the status quo. The power of the individual, in the face of the torrent of the times, is like a drop in the ocean. But you also have to understand that when the survival of the planet is endangered, there will always be heroes who will stand up again. The professor had a gentle expression and a calm attitude. He greatly inspired Tony Stark. Truly. He is not alone. Asgard. Karma Taj. Xavier Genius Academy. Guardians of the Galaxy. And it will definitely not sit idly by and watch the Earth die. However, in the depths of his heart, there is also an unspeakable secret. Professor, do you think I deserve to be a superhero? Take off your armor. I don't have any abilities. Stark expressed his heart. This cynical, top-eyed playboy suffers all day long. In addition to PTSD, he fell into deep self-doubt. It's like a nightmare. Keeps him from sleeping. Oh. Please. I'm still a modified little raccoon. Do you think I want to be transformed? Disassembled and installed by the Supreme Evolutionary, installed and dismantled. Rocket Raccoon blurted out. His arrogance stems from his low self-esteem. Hearing his partner's complaint, everyone in the Silver Guard showed concern. But I don't know what to do. Seeing the Rocket Raccoon who cursed, Tony Stark's heart also rose a sense of pity for the same illness. They didn't volunteer to become superheroes. But fate forged them. You have suffered deeply. That's why you can understand the pain of suffering. Mr. Stark, your steel armor is you. Because without your invention, the steel armor would not have been born in the world. You have the smartest brain on Earth, and you should use it to the fullest. Just imagine, who would you be if you hadn't experienced a kidnapping? The innocent people who were once oppressed by the Ten Rings gang, and the millions of people who died in the Battle of New York. What will happen? You have changed the fate of too many people. Don't be discouraged for a moment and be overwhelmed. Professor X said. Every word is full of healing power. Invisibly, Tony Stark's eyes gradually lit up. Yes. He has changed the fate of too many people. And his next task should be to continue to change the fate of others. Instead of immersing yourself in post-traumatic emergency disorder. In an instant, his heart was baptized. He understood his direction. And where he's going. Thank you, Professor. I gained a lot from this trip. Excuse me, does Xavier Manor need technical assistance from Stark Industries? Stark smiled. Even the face regained its radiance. Don't forget Project Earth, Tony. Although, your Earth Warframe plan was opposed by Team America. But the Void needs this Earth Warframe. Groot saw the stitches. Don't worry. After the success of the Ultron project, the Earth Warframe project is completed. Tony Stark was in high spirits again. Tony and I have already started working on higher-level AI. And yet, the simulation experiment has been failing, so I simply came to Xavier Manor. Dr. Banner said in chagrin. And Groot's heart suddenly rose a sense of foreboding. Ultron. It was when Tony Stark was negligent. The simulation was successful. In the end, a dangerous conclusion was also drawn from various data. Humanity must be eliminated in order to achieve peace. Ultron. Super artificial intelligence with self-learning ability. Evil by nature. Attempt to destroy humanity and achieve permanent peace. He directly led to the outbreak of the Sokovia incident. It also led to the signing of the Sokovia Agreement by the United Nations Organization. Indirectly caused a civil war in the Avengers. What? You suspect that Ultron will produce evil thoughts? Please. Don't you believe in my wisdom? Stark looked suspicious. However, he suddenly found that Jarvis had broken the link. Jarvis. Jarvis. Stark stood up. The face also became ugly. Jarvis didn't answer. Could it be that Ultron is really out of control? Dr. Bruce Banner looked nervous. Soon, everyone returned to Stark Tower on Blackbird fighters. In the lab, Stark called up the program. I saw that a yellow electronic brain had shattered into slag. Even Ultron has gone unknown. Ultron. It's really out of control. Stark's face was serious. Everyone in the Silver Protector stood aside, their moods extremely complicated. Ultron. What the hell? He is the same as the Supreme Wisdom. Rocket Raccoon frowned. Almost. He has the ability to renew himself. Also trying to wipe out all humanity. Groot's gaze was gloomy. He never imagined that Ultron would be born early. Ding. Please check in at the next check-in location within 30 minutes. Check-in location, Hydra Castle. A long-lost voice announcement sounded. Groot looked pleased. Hydra Castle. Located on the Sokovia border. It is also the ancestral property of Baron Strack. It seems that Ultron has not changed his whereabouts. Baron Strack, with the energy of the Hydra organization, has collected a large number of Zeteri alien weapons and advanced technology. Even, human studies are being conducted in secret. Through energy stimulation experiments, we try to create superhumans. However, energy stimulation experiments have consistently failed. The teenager, who acted as a guinea pig, was also thrown into the incinerator. It seems that we need the help of Professor X. Stark's face darkened. Just returned to Stark Mansion, about to return to Xavier Manor. Blackbird fighters and the Milano took off. Hurried towards Xavier Manor. Soon, Professor X led everyone to the dangerous training room. He wears a brainwave enhancement device. In an instant, he tracked down the existence of Ultron. To be precise, he tracked the existence of the mind gem. Because Ultron doesn't really have a mind. He's just a wad of data. There is hardly any way to get rid of a cloud of living data. Even if it discovers Ultron, Ultron can upload itself to the cloud. Almost immortal. Go. Go to Sokovia. Ultron must not be allowed to exterminate humans. Stark waved his wrist. A steel armor was summoned out of thin air. This armor has a gold and red livery. The overall shape is full of sci-fi colors. The technical content is much higher than that of Mark 7. This is Mark 42 Prodigal Son Warframe. It has the ability to control remotely and automatically assemble. Also known as the Anti-Tony Warframe. This armor, which already represents Tony Stark's technology, has once again climbed to another peak. Even Peter Quill and Rocket Raccoon were amazed. For the sake of our common illness, how about giving me a battle armor? Rocket Raccoon throws a wink like crazy. No model for you. Stark anti-lip camera. In an instant, the soles of the feet sprayed brilliant flames. The whole person turned into a long rainbow and rushed into the distance. Tantra. He's mocking me for my short stature. Rocket Raccoon was resentful. Immediately, the Silver Guardians also boarded the Milano. The light-speed engine sprays pulsing particles. Also quickly flew to Sokovia. The X-Men were not involved. Because of the identity of mutants, it is easy to cause negative international impact. This spaceship should be worth a lot. Dr. Bruce Banner looked at the Milano curiously. Not expensive. It's only $1 million. Peter Quill said with a show-off look. $1 million. How much is it converted into a beautiful knife? Dr. Banner was puzzled. There is no comparison. Beautiful knife, get it to other planets, almost no one recognizes it. And the star dollars issued by the Galactic Council basically contain precious metals. If I had to make a comparison. Worth about 10 tons of gold. Nebula reckoned and said. 10 tons of gold. What a luxury. Dr. Banner smacked his lips secretly. Because of his long life in hiding, he had hardly any savings. Eating and drinking Lhasa all need Tony Stark's supplement. However, a simple calculation can also lead to the price of 10 tons of gold. About $160 million. Almost comparable to a steel armor comparable to Tony Stark. What? My Milano, worth as much as his steel armor. Peter Quill's face was full of disbelief. However, this is indeed the case. Tony Stark's steel armor is made of gold titanium alloy, a cutting-edge aerospace material. A warframe costs as much as $100 million. Is it great to have a few stinky money? Peter Quill said jealously. Soon, the crowd was crossing the Atlantic. Came to the small, remote country of Eastern Europe. Sokovia. This country is tormented by war. Barren. Lag. There is hardly any industrial base. The ruling party has also resorted to violence, regardless of the lives of the people. Demonstrations broke out almost daily. There are also frequent missile strikes. Back in the 90s of the last century, SHIELD established a secret stronghold in Sokovia. Located on a small town deep in the mountains. However, this town belongs to Wolfgang Fung, Baron Strack. He and his father are both members of the Hydra organization. Hydra. Didn't Team America already destroy Hydra? Dr. Banner was surprised. Nope. Dr. Banner. I learned a secret from Professor X. The Hydra organization has hollowed out SHIELD. One of the spy leaders also infiltrated the Security Council. Groot was talking nonsense. The secrets he knew were also revealed on the spot. Walter. The Council. Dr. Banner's eyes widened. The heartbeat quickened. I almost couldn't control my ups and downs. Directly incarnate the Hulk. Fortunately, he forcibly suppressed his emotions. Security Council. This is the only real authority of the World Organization of the United Nations. It is also the only important institution with the authority to take military action. Secretary General of the Council, named Alexander Pierce. He also served as the head of SHIELD. He even refused the Nobel Peace Prize. Professor X also does have the ability to eavesdrop on the entire planet and discover Hydra hiding in SHIELD. It's just that why didn't he reveal this truth? Dr. Banner thought thoughtfully. He's a mutant. Will mutants be taken seriously? Gamora, shaking her head. Truly. Mutants. For ordinary humans. If it is not my race, its heart will be different. Once Professor X brought up the secret identity of the Security Council Secretary General Alexander Pierce. Then, it will definitely cause the Hydra organization to chase and fight. The entire Xavier Genius Academy will cease to exist. In order to protect himself, Professor X can only cover up this secret. Why would he tell Groot, though? Dr. Banner was suspicious. Immediately, the Milano slowly landed. No patrolling guards were alerted. Tony Stark also came to this place. The mask is raised. There was a look of jealousy in his eyes. Hydra Castle. Solemn. Built by the mountains. High wall spires. There are also guards with live ammunition patrolling day and night. All Hydra soldiers, equipped with scientific and technological weapons, are almost without exception the firearms of the Chitauri people. Even, all Hydra soldiers can fly at high speed. Want to break into the Hydra castle. The difficulty speaks for itself. Difficulty. You discussed the difficulty with the Guardians of the Galaxy. We once took out Ronan the Accuser. Also eliminated the second general of Black Yao under Thanos. Hydra. What's the difficulty? Rocket Raccoon raises a ray gun. Drax also gripped the short blade and killed towards the Hydra castle. Gamora summoned the Sword of the Night Sky out of thin air. Nebula and Peter Quill also held their respective weapons. Mew done. The tree realm has come. Groot spoke sonorously. Immediately, I saw that all the plants in the Hydra castle began to grow rapidly. One by one, the roots of the tree break through the ground. Instantly overturned pieces of Hydra soldiers. A deafening siren pierced the sky. Hydra Castle immediately raised the defense level to the highest level. Deep in the dungeon, a middle-aged man wearing a uniform of Aegis and a majestic figure with a single piece of sunglasses on his face. Also saw the presence of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Tony Stark through the surveillance device. He had an ugly look on his face. He looked at the metal figure on the side. He has an indestructible mechanical body. Nuclear batteries are used as the driving energy source. Even the expression on his face is vivid. It's Ultron. Ultron, In Hydra Castle, with his 3-inch uncorrupted tongue, he reached a tacit agreement with Baron Strack. Even, the mind gem was used as a medium for energy stimulation experiments, giving a pair of twin brothers and sisters extraordinary abilities beyond imagination. Wanda Maximov. Ability to move objects through mental power, mental manipulation. Pietro Maximov. Ability to move at high speed and think at high speed. Even if the Guardians of the Galaxy come to this place, they may not be able to take advantage. However, the development of the situation was far beyond Baron Strack's expectations. The outer barrier of the Hydra Castle immediately burst out with a roaring detonation sound. Immortal mode. Open. Groot clapped his hands. Immediately activated the immortal mode harvested by the check-in system. I saw black eyeshadow appear on his face. The body surface also rose a brilliant wave of chi. His strength, endurance, speed, physique, and perception have also reached a whole new level. Layers of vines cover the right hand. Power gems also shine brightly. The powerful fist slammed the energy barrier. Moment. The earth is cracking. The firmament swayed. The curtain of space is distorted. The entire foundation of the Hydra Castle collapsed. The defensive measures of the Hydra organization could not withstand Groot's fist at all. One hit. Terrifying. Even Ultron was shocked and inexplicable. Guardians of the Galaxy. Groot. He also seems to have an Infinity Stone in his hand. Ultron emitted a mechanical sound. Through the internet, he read all the information of the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even, I know that Groot is from the Colossus of Flowers. But there is no way against him. In order to wipe out humanity, he will take the way of dinosaur extinction. He installed flying engines for the entire Sokovia. Once launched, the whole of Sokovia will rise into the air. After reaching a certain height, fall heavily. The catastrophic response triggered by it will surely destroy all land civilizations. After that, a world full of metal will also replace all humans. In this way, the Earth has achieved permanent peace. However, in his mind, there was another plan. He wants to create a perfect body for himself. He set his sights on Dr. Helen Zhao of the Great Cold Empire. As for the life or death of Dr. Lister and Baron Strack, he didn't pay attention to it at all. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the check-in. Rewards are distributed. A voice prompt sounded. The moment Groot came to Hydra Castle, he got the check-in reward issued by the check-in system. At the same time, the Silver Guardians and Tony Stark also engaged in a fierce exchange of fire with the Hydra soldiers. Dr. Banner. The skin is green. Strong musculature stretches the plaid shirt. He is once again transformed into the Invincible Hulk. Like a heavy truck traveling at high speed, he instantly knocked over the special tank driven by the enemy. Grab the barrel hard and throw it into the distance. Knocked out a patch of Hydra soldiers. At the same time, Groot also looked at the system rewards he received. I saw a lotus flower, a body composed of lotus root, which came into view. This is Lotus Incarnation, the supreme immortal body possessed by the third prince of Nezha. The body incarnated by the lotus is soulless, flesh and blood, and invincible. It is also immune to all kinds of dementoring magic and magic weapons. Moreover, this lotus incarnation can also be protected from all kinds of diseases. Anti-poison and cold resistant. Disaster relief. It is also a sanctified body in the flesh. It is enough for Groot to transcend the 3 realms and 5 elements and never enter the suffering of reincarnation. Even the tricks of the plague of germs and the mutual damage of yin and yang will be completely ineffective. With this lotus incarnation, the third prince of which Za is enough to rival the Erlang god Yangjian and fight against the Lingming stone monkey Sun Wukong. It instantly made Groot's face beam. Maybe he can use this lotus incarnation to become a Da Luo golden immortal. No dirt and no cleansing. Immortal and immortal. Even the supreme mage couldn't hurt his soul. Even the infinity stones could hardly shake his body. There was hardly any hesitation. Groot took out the lotus avatar. Through the power of the Mori fruit, integrate it into your own body. His body has once again undergone earth-shaking changes. If there is no professional instrument, make a careful observation. Otherwise, he would not be able to discover that he is a member of the Flower God Colossus clan. His skin is white and flawless. Even his appearance is extremely handsome. It was as if he had incarnated as the third prince of Nezha. The power of all his moves has soared again. You can also conjure up a cool trench coat through the lotus. Even, he can open the three-headed, nine-eyed, eight-armed magic phase. Groot. You actually transformed again. Rocket Raccoon looked surprised. He has spent the longest time with Groot, the tree man. It is also watching Groot evolve from a tree man to a man. Even, now there is no difference from ordinary humans. Look handsome. Handsome extraordinary. He also wore a wood-colored trench coat. The dangerous aura he exuded. Even Hulk felt a heartbeat. This green-skinned monster with a big waist has never been afraid of anyone. And after seeing Groot, there was a hesitation. Perhaps, this place has a magical existence. Groot curled the corners of his mouth. Above the exquisite face, a trace of evil expression appeared. His chest was hot. Lotus incarnation endowed him with a body that is not bad. Even, the immortal chakra in his body was upgraded to a mysterious force. Call it, Senli. It couldn't be more fitting. Other words. He had already begun to cultivate immortals. Immortals are different. This body can also be immune to extreme environments and vacuums. All toxins and diseases cannot hurt them in the slightest. Even soul magic couldn't shake him. In an instant, a brilliant light erupted from his palm. Power gems show their power again. Everywhere you go, destroy cities and villages, and trees fall in landslides. The Hydra soldiers, even if equipped with the advanced weapons of the Chitauri, could not withstand the indiscriminate bombardment of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even, everything within his line of sight can be manipulated by him. An invisible mental force swept out. Nothing can stop him. The ray gun of the Hydra organization was crushed into a ball of scrap iron by Nian Li in an instant. The sound of explosions is endless. The whole Hydra castle creaked. Baron Strack broke out in a cold sweat, and there was a fear in his eyes. Ultron. Hurry up and subdue the Guardians of the Galaxy. Quote. Have you forgotten? You promised me. Baron Strack said busily. I promised you. There seems to be such a thing. He said. However, the cooperation is now over. I'm leaving this place too. Ultron had a shameless expression on his face. Immediately, a row of mechanical soldiers paced out. Ultron piloted the most advanced aircraft directly into the distance. Even the twin siblings were miserably seduced by Ultron. Wanda. Pedro. If it weren't for the weapon developed by Tony Stark. Your parents are not going to die at all. Help me purify the world. Your enemy, Tony Stark, will also be purified by me. Ultron follows the rules. In an instant, the twin brothers and sisters looked moved, and followed him to board the aircraft. Two aircraft, each headed in different directions. This is a disturbing measure. Even Tony Stark couldn't tell the difference between reality and reality. Ultron escaped. Tony Stark said hatefully. Immediately, the Silver Protector entered the interior of the Hydra castle. Directly captured Baron Strack and Dr. Lister. Say it quickly. Where's Ultron? Rocket Raccoon holds an energy gun. Aimed the muzzle at the two hostages. Sorry. I can't give you an answer. However, he has always planned to upgrade his body. Dr. Lister told the truth. Upgrade your body. The best material is undoubtedly vibranium. It seems that he went to the abandoned dock of Salvaju. Stark narrowed his eyes. Solve a giant abandoned pier. Due to the changing coastline, several 10,000-ton ships ran aground in this place. They are connected to each other by rebar. It turned out to be a small black market. The man in charge of this pier was named Ulysses Crow. He is a notorious smuggling boss. He and his ancestors ran the vibranium business for generations. If Ultron needs vibranium, he will definitely come to this place. Soon, after the Silver Guard handed Baron Strack and Dr. Lister over to the relevant departments, the Milano lifted off again. Sailed to the abandoned dock. However, Ultron has already come to this place for a long time. A bit of coercion and inducement. He bought a large amount of vibranium in Ulysses Crow's hand. He will build a vibranium body for himself. And when the Silver Guardians came to the abandoned dock, Ultron had already taken his subordinates to the next place of action. Tantra. One step late. Quote. Tony Stark had an ugly face. Everyone also temporarily returned to Stark Tower. The top floor of the building. Widow's sister, Hawkeye, Team America, has already waited in this place in advance. Tony. What did you come up with? Quote. I heard it's called Ultron. He's out of control, isn't he? The American team is menacing. One grabbed Tony Stark by the collar. It's a privately made, high-end suit. Please don't break it. Stark for tat. He didn't think he was at fault. Because the Ultron project is about the Earth Warframe project. He's not trying to satisfy his bad taste. Without this Earth Warframe, the Earth would have no counterpower in the face of the imminent Thanos. Tony. I understand your good intentions. However, the priority is to investigate the traces of Ultron. The Widow's sister comforted her partner softly. And at this time, she also discovers Groot's new metamorphosis. Her beautiful eyes lit up with a hint of color. Are you Groot? You evolved. The Widow's sister's eyes were affectionate. Looking at the tall and handsome young man in front of him. She was already feeling a tickle in her heart. Yes. I am about to become the legendary god Groot. And after I reach this realm, I will be able to reproduce the flower god Colossus clan. Groot laughed. That's awesome. After solving Ultron, can I visit the Void Land? The widowed sister looked adoring. Of course. She has superb acting skills at the level of a small golden man. Once lied to Tony Stark. She is good at using beauty. Her actions must have been instructed by S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury. Captain. We took a Hydra castle. The Hydra organization is not dead. Dr. Banner stopped talking. Moment. Team America's pupils are dilated. I couldn't believe my ears. The Hydra organization actually exists to this day. Hydra organization secretly provoked the Second World War. And he thought he had eradicated Hydra. But he never expected that the Hydra organization changed its appearance and infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury. Is it also Hydra? Clint Barton hesitated. Probably not. Otherwise, he wouldn't have formed the Avenger at all. Team America has his own speculations. Okay. Don't forget our top priority. Groot interrupted the crowd. He knew that Ultron was in the Great Cold Empire. Seoul. Eugene Institute for Biology. He wants to create an indestructible vibranium body by regenerating the cradle and combining vibranium. Once the plan is completed, Ultron will also evolve into its strongest form. The body is indestructible. There is no way to defeat him. Wait a minute. Why is Ultron always able to complete its plans one step ahead? Groot looked deep. A terrible fact suddenly came to mind. Ultron, in other parallel time and space, finally completed his plan. He has a flawless vibranium body. Also successfully eliminated the Avengers. And after exterminating all humans on Earth, he also took out the menacing Thanos. From Thanos' corpse, got another 5 Infinity Stones. After this, he teleported to other cosmic empires. Even Captain Marvel Carol Danvers perished along with Shandar Star. Finally, he heard a whisper in the ear of the Observer. He discovered that beyond the current universe, there are other multiverses. And he directly broke the dimensional wall. Nearly got rid of the Observer. To defeat the six gods Ultron, the Observer summons the Multiverse Guardians. Could it be? The time and space where you are in is the universe born by the six gods Oshwang. Group pupil dilation. When this fact is contemplated, there is no patience. He absolutely can't allow Ultron to upgrade to vision. Nor can he get the other 5 Infinity Stones. Stark. Rogers. I sense the existence of Ultron through plants. He's in Seoul in the Great Cold Empire. Eugene Institute for Biological Research. He wants to upgrade himself to a vibranium body by regenerating the cradle. We have to stop him. Groot's eyes flashed. The voice fell. I saw that everyone in the Avengers showed a look of surprise. What? Seoul. Regenerating cradles. Quote. Dr. Helen Zhao's company. Stark and Dr. Banner looked at each other, and they both saw a hint of surprise in each other's eyes. That's right. Without further ado, we Silver Protector move first. Groot directly led the Silver Guardians and boarded the Milano. And the Avengers are helpless. I can only listen to Groot for the time being. The Milano turned on full power and rushed to Seoul on the other side of the ocean. Eugene Institute for Biology. Prior to this, Ultron had already controlled Dr. Helen Zhao through the psychic scepter. By regenerating the cradle, a rudiment of vibranium body has been created for him. It takes a certain amount of time to print brain tissue. Then he plugged the data cable into the back of his head. Attempt to upload all your consciousness to this vibranium body. The forehead of the vibranium body is inlaid with a yellow gemstone. Endless psychic power is ready to go. However, the Scarlet Witch did not touch the body. She had extreme hatred in her heart. If it were not for the Jericho missile developed by Stark Industries. Nor will she become a miserable orphan of war. She was not coerced. Instead, he took the initiative to join the Hydra organization. This Scarlet Witch, in the energy stimulation experiment, obtained unparalleled chaos magic. She can control almost all reality. Rewrite all the rules. A young man with a strong figure on the side. It's called Quicksilver. He has silver hair. Ability to move at high speed and think at high speed. Since he was born 30 seconds early, he became Wanda's older brother. Time passes little by little. Nearly half of Ultron's data has been uploaded. And at this time, there was a sound of a fierce fight outside. Through monitoring, the Milano can be seen, emitting powerful pulse rays, directly destroying pieces of mechanical soldiers. Guardians of the Galaxy. It's really haunted. Ultron's gaze hatred. But did not stop his upload. Soon, 70%, 80%, 90% of his data was uploaded. When the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers attacked the Eugene Biological Institute, his data was uploaded to 100%. Lying in the cradle of regeneration, Vision suddenly opened his eyes. He has red skin. The body material is indestructible. It is also immune to all extreme environments. With the power given to him by the Mind Gem, you can also survive in a vacuum and fly at high speed. He created a cloak for himself. The eyes are full of tyranny. He never forgot his task. Let the Earth be at peace forever. And the premise of peace is to destroy the Avengers. Walter. Ultron actually successfully uploaded himself. This is a body made of vibranium. Stark, Rogers, Widow, Hawkeye, looked incredulous. But they can only accept reality. Ultron, stop your conspiracy. There was an error in your program. And I will correct all this. Stark's voice was steady and powerful. However, a sneer appeared on Ultron's face. Error. You are the mistake. I will purify the world in exchange for eternal peace. Ultron's gaze was fierce. Suddenly, the mind gem on his forehead radiated a brilliant ray. This energy ray, everywhere it went, destroyed almost everything. Even the space curtain is distorted. It actually exploded the prodigal armor into a cloud of fireworks in an instant. However, Tony Stark wasn't on the inside. He was on the Milano, remotely controlling the prodigal son's armor via a brainwave device. Tantra. Ultron actually owns an Infinity Stone. Stark's face was livid. He never imagined that the Ultron project he developed would cause such a disaster. At the same time, Avengers and all the mechanical soldiers also fought together. Pulse rays cut through the sky. Rocket Raccoon, Peter Quill, Drax, Nebula, and Gamora are also involved in the battle. However, even if everyone can destroy the mechanical soldiers, they still can't shake Ultron's vibranium body. Vibranium, one of the hardest metals on Earth, has an unusually stable molecular structure. With vibranium, he can also blur through solids. The skin is as hard as a diamond. You guys, we will all be buried here. Even the power gems in your hand will belong to me. With this power gem, I am enough to purify the Earth. Ultron smiled. He knows the power of the power gem. Power gems, the larger the object you touch, the stronger the energy it emits. A single blow is enough to easily annihilate a planet. There is no need to follow the example of the extinction of dinosaurs and let meteorites shoot down the Earth. Wanda. Pietro. You all heard, he wants to purify the Earth. And you live on Earth. Groot stands high in the sky. Nien Li wrapped his body. The seriousness of the situation is beyond his control. This situation also made Groot more and more determined. The Ultron in front of you is the Six Gods Ultron. He is the protagonist of this world. He will destroy the entire universe. And this also means, the Infinity Stones of this space-time, even if they appear in other space-times, can still play their due effect. Every Infinity Stone is unique. A collection of 6 Infinity Stones envision Ultron. Not only can it break the dimensional wall, even, it is possible to suppress the observer Uatu. You know us. Wanda and Pietro looked surprised. For Ultron's sinister intentions, the two also felt a chill in their backs. It's still time to repent. Groot looked calm. However, his palm had already begun to emit a brilliant light. Power gems versus mind gems. With the power gem, can it burst this vibranium body? Gertrude looked expectant. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.